can't see me, but I am here also. We are back. It is episode 76 of the Metal Round Table. I am Metal Rob, and with me as always is the great
Carcass John, and he's here. Carcass John, that is, with
George Call,
Call,
Danny White, Bronze Contreras,
Keith Knight from Aska.
And they've just completed a live at Casa de Carcass recording that you will be seeing and hearing on YouTube and Facebook very, very soon. So, cool. One thing that I want to ask about before we get
Aska.
into this, I want to ask you a question.
Aska away.
We've never heard that one before.
You've never heard that one before? So, I heard that you guys did, I know you've traveled all over the world.
All over the world.
How did that come about? Wasn't it a USO kind of thing? Weren't y'all hooked up with the USO or something?
That's how it started, yeah. And
I'm a former military guy, so that's
very
cool
cool.
for me.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that got going.
in '92, we were doing a show at the Basement here in Dallas, and it's that place where Pantera filmed one of their videos. What was the Walk video or one of those?
Cowboys from Hell.
Cowboys from Hell, maybe, yeah. And we were doing a show there, and after the show, we were done, and always when the show's end, people want to come up and talk to you. We had a guy, we had a roadies come up and say, "Hey, there's some guy over here who wants to talk to you. Short-haired guy, clean cut." We're like, yeah. We'll get to him in a minute. Just tell me, he wants to talk to you guys about something, touring or whatever. We're like, yeah. Just tell him stick around. We'll be right there. We'll be right with him. Yeah, we went about our business, signing autographs, tearing down our stuff, doing whatever we do, and the guy was ready to take off. He was ready to go. He's ready to take off, which was unusual because usually when we told somebody to wait, they waited. They stuck around to talk to the band. In this case, the guy, he sat there for a minute and everything, got sterner by the moment, and then he goes, "That's it, man. Tell those guys, here's my card. Call me. I'm out of here." And when we saw the dude leaving, we're like, "Well, that's not right. That never happens." We're like, wait, hey, dude, hold on a second. Don't go. Yeah, what's up, man? We talked to him, and he. Turns out he was a scout, for the, the USO and DOD, all that stuff. And the guy, he saw our show back then. We used to wear camouflage gear. We had American flags behind us. Very patriotic, pro-America image, and he loved that. It was like tailor-made for the military. He said that he could put us on tour and blah, 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 this and that. Whatever. So, and the guy, it turned out he was a Marine, right? He's like a Marine captain. And Captain Adamus, right? Adamus. And so we decided to meet with him a day or two later during the week. And lo and behold, for all the smoke that people blow up your ass, all the bullshit that they give you in this business, this guy was on the level, and sure enough, within the next few months, we were in the Middle East, during during Desert Storm, right after, right?
Right after, yeah.
Right after Desert Storm, we started with the Middle Eastern tour, doing bases in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, all throughout those danger zones. Mm-hmm. I think we went back the very next season. 2 seasons later, same year, they had us back for an encore performance at Christmas time, which of course they don't celebrate out there. And from there it went, and we did probably 2 to 3 tours a year, all over the world. Started in the Middle East and then progressed to South Pacific, Asia, Japan, Australia, Korea, all over Europe. We started hitting Germany, Belgium, England, France, on ad infinitum. And so we had our touring start way back when other people were just thinking about it, Of course, it was exclusively for the military, so the civilian world was mostly unaware. But we played for guys like you, enlisted guys, service personnel, every day. I mean, sometimes our tours were, we would do shows 6 nights a week with 1 day off. Sometimes 2 shows in a day. Remember those?
Yeah.
Like Iceland, I remember the matinee show and the evening show. So it was insane.
Like that too.
Huh?
Guam too.
Guam, yeah. So, and it was, right away we got our feet wet, and learned the ropes, and I think it allowed us to, keep the band going, where so many of the metal bands just kind of fell apart and went away, because it was 92 when this started for us, and this was right around the time when grunge came in.
Yep.
All the metal bands gave it up, even the big ones that we all know and love. Kiss tried to do a grunge album. Warrant did a grunge album. So many bands tried to jump on that bandwagon. Others just went away. Just completely just went away for a while. And we were like, wow, this is cool. We found our little niche. And that's how that went.
Awesome. So how long had the band been together when you hopped on the USO stuff?
God, at that point, our first album had come out in 91.
Okay.
I mean, Aska had actually been playing prior to that, but we put out our first, bona fide full-length album in 91. Me, Keith, my brother, and the other co-founder of Aska, Darren Knapp. The very next year, man, we started touring. And internationally.
Right.
And that doesn't happen a lot for people. Like they'll do the van tour of the states,
Right.
the surrounding states, and slog it out. We were flying in private planes and jets and getting put up in these 5-star hotels and being fed lobster and shrimp. We're like, whoa, we're spoiled.
Sometimes it wasn't so nice.
No, yeah. Sometimes we were roughing it.
Yeah.
Now you started kind of
Intense.
you started kind of like a cover band too, though, right? Didn't you have a lot of Iron Maiden and stuff like that in your set? And
Yeah.
that's sort of how you got your chops.
Yeah. We used to, when we first started, we were primarily covers, and we would throw in a smattering of
Well, we only had one album.
Yeah, right.
and of course we didn't want to drown anybody with it. Nobody knew it,
Right.
Nobody, and so we kind of went about things a little bit different, Like some original bands, they start out full on original. We were mostly covers and then originals, and it took us several years to where we finally went 50-50. And then after that, it was real conscious. I think Keith was one of the main pushers for us to go more original versus over covers. Eventually got to 75-25, and now it's like 98% original. Occasionally we'll do a cover or two.
So what would you do? What would be like? Fast forward to Aska 2021. So you're on the road and someone says play a cover. What would you play?
Metallica,
The
Maiden,
Trooper, yeah. Some of the stuff that would go hand in hand with the
AC/DC.
original stuff.
But what particular song would you play?
Particular song.
Highway to Hell?
Yeah, we usually do that.
Highway to Hell.
Yeah. Seek and Destroy, Metallic.
One of those songs that you
We got nothing coming.
one of those songs that you don't have to have any introduction for, that you just played for us, kind of had an AC/DC vibe a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I dig it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that song.
Soul Stealer.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should say it or
You
not.
can say it. You can say it. Yeah. It'll be. Yeah. Well, we won't talk about too much about this.
But you do have new music coming out soon.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We don't have a name yet, so we got some ideas.
Don't have an album covered.
We have
Actually, we have a cover.
we
Oh, you
have
do?
a cover, but you know what though? We don't have a back cover
Okay. Well, and you know
or an
what?
inner sleeve design.
And what would be cool to see the cover and then play off of that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I have sort of an idea for you, because like I did for that. Was it?
The t-shirt?
Yeah, that was that.
Fire
an
Eater?
Yeah, the Fire Eater one. And that one, but that was directly off looking at that cover and
Yeah.
saying, I want to pull these elements in, and
We'll show you the cover here tonight.
and I have to tell you that he did one of the nicest things anybody's ever done. And unfortunately, my son passed away. It'll be 10 years at the end of the month. It'll be 10 years.
Sorry.
And George came to me and he said, "Do us a design. We're going to sell the shirt. And we're going to donate to your cause and whatever." And I know my son had set up.
We gave you all the money.
Yeah, they gave me all the money to donate to his cause. He had I had opened a charity in his name that buys instruments for kids that can't afford instruments. A tuba costs a lot, right, Rob?
Tuba.
Thank you. Tuba costs a lot, and sometimes kids can't afford even the more basic stuff. But this was a fund established here in Texas that would buy instruments for those kids, and so. And then I had some medical issues, and George just said, here's all the money from Aska. We're trying to show you that we support our fans just the way our fans support us. So that was really kind of cool. I have to put that out there. Not very many people know about that. But
Nobody knows.
But sometimes it's important to let the world know that, you know, there's more than just the music.
We would never say it ourselves because we don't like to put that kind of stuff out there. You notice there's a lot of people that give to charity and then or do charitable things, and then they can't wait to brag about it, right? I think that kind of defeats the purpose. Our point was, you know, for us, just do it. You did us a solid. You did this artwork for us. So all the sales went to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it helped you. I think you were having heart issues as
Yep.
well. You were,
I had a real major medical issue, and thank goodness it's solved. And
good.
but you know what? That's the whole idea of this whole metal family thing. And we're not just friends. We're not just, you know, you're not just guys that we see on stage play. We interact, and there's a reason that this is not just a passing fad. You know, I mean, you guys are not exactly 18 and 19 years old anymore.
Year after year.
And you're close to that. But you've been doing it a long time, and it shows. I mean, we just saw. The one thing in fact, it looks almost effortless when it's done. When it's done by an experienced band. So that's what's cool to watch. It's just like, man, it looks like it's so easy, but yet it's brilliant. So I appreciate you
Well, it's
guys.
the difference between professionals and non-professionals.
Yeah.
When I was standing there at the show the other night, we won't get too deep into the lineup, but I mean, it was just separating the men from the boys. And I'm looking at this dude next to me and going, that's what professionals do.
Everything.
Everything.
You
And
know-
then he comes and tells me, yeah, I think they rehearsed once for the show.
Yeah.
That's professionals.
Yeah.
Right.
Professionals.
Because COVID has kept it. You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we've been doing during this period, during the downtime, is working on our new record, our 7th. And you know, initially it was the 4 of us. We got in there, laid down the tracks, recorded the stuff, and then you know, once Danny and Brian were done with their parts, then it's me and Keith buckle down and get the nitty gritty. You know, start working on the vocals and you know the sounds and what we want and the effects and you know all the things we want to add and take out and so I mean we've burned the candle at both ends, but with no rehearsal time for the band. You know?
Right.
So when the show came about, we didn't think there would be any shows because of the COVID thing, and when the state, you know, our state loosened the restrictions, the particular show in question had been pushed back 3 or 4 times, and initially we actually had a better slotting in the lineup, but we had turned it down because Keith wasn't available, and then COVID hit, and they canceled it once, they canceled it twice, they rescheduled 3 times, and then finally the 4th time they had to reschedule. One of the other bands dropped out. Are you guys available now? Because we're going to do it this, and it worked out that we were available. So we're like, oh, I guess we better rehearse.
At least once.
We better throw a rehearsal together.
Again, though, when you've been doing it for nearly 30 years, I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to get back together. And,
Yeah. It's I mean, it's like riding a bike, you know.
yeah, of course.
I mean, we still forget sometimes where the pedals are.
Or the brakes.
Yeah, that's the one you need to find.
Yeah, the breaks are the most important part sometimes. So, how close are you on the record?
We're
Real close.
99. What do you say? I'd say 99%.
Yeah.
We're the 1%, just personal preference mixing.
Yes, as far as mixing goes, and then it goes to mastering, and then finish the cover and the inside and do all the booklet stuff.
Also, you know, we'll get to the point where we're like, okay, we're done, and we start mixing and we're saying, it's like, you know, what if let's get Brian back in here to add another solo in this section. You know?
Yeah.
We do stuff like that. So, you know, it's the when you're you know, when your guy in the band owns a studio, you kind of have limitless, you know, recording potential. There's no clock going, hey, there's going to be another $500, you know. So we have we have that liberty, you know, to do basically what we want.
That's
Same
awesome.
label?
Probably Pure Steel. Yeah, I mean, we keep our options open, but Pure Steel's been good to us. You know, Mark St. Andreas, they're great. God bless them. We love them. They've taken care of us. They've been brothers. They've supported us in everything, you know. Never, you know, like some labels could give a shit about their people. These guys are the real deal. You know, they're a smaller indie label, but you get more of that, you know, that
And
personal,
Right.
you know, relationship with them. You know, like for example, the president, the guy that runs the label, Andreas, he goes, George, you are my brother from another mother. You're my brother from America. I love you. How are you? You know, that thick German accent. They're just great guys. Marcus too. So yeah, we'll probably give it to them. You know.
So you've been all over the world for almost 30 years. There's got to be some funny shit that has gone down.
Oh yeah.
Let's have it. Just give me anything.
You go.
Well, we were talking before we came on camera. I was going to say that one of the weirdest things that we saw in Japan, and it was, I mean, you'll never see this in America. We were like, oh man, there's a vending machine. We want to get a Coke. Man, can we go get a Coke? And he goes, oh, our
Interpreter?
our chaperone. You know, everywhere we went, we'd have guys assigned to us to, you know, make sure we get where we want to go, drive us around, keep us out of trouble, that sort of thing. And so our guy, which is Spike Uchino, his name's Sushi Spike Uchino, great guy. We love him. We love you, Spike. You're the best. Spike is talking about Spike's like, no, don't go to that machine. Don't. Like, no, man, I'm just gonna get a Coke. And we go there to put the money in. It's like, wait a minute, there's no Cokes in this machine. The machine was filled with used panties, dildos, vibrators, you know, pocket pussies, you know, like, what? This is out in public, you know, for the people just,
Kids can walk by and look at me.
yeah. Like, what kind of machine is this? Keith, you got an extra 100 Can I borrow? Can I get an advance on tomorrow's gig? You know, no, but yeah, that was, that's a sight you won't see in America.
No.
Thank goodness. Oh man.
You know, I guess, well, you know, maybe they're shy about going in the store. Well, we have that stuff here, but you got to go in the store, you know.
Right.
There, you just walk up to the vending machine, you know. Keeps the embarrassment factor. Because, you know, those of you that have been to Japan here, how many people have been to Japan in this room?
Woohoo!
1, 2, 3, 4.
3.
You?
Nope.
No? Okay,
Nope.
so 3 of us. Well, you know that the people are very respectful.
Yes.
They're, you know, they are very, you know, they're not like, you know, get in your face for the most part.
Quiet.
Yeah, they're very quiet. They're polite. They're, you know, they're just, you know, they give you your space. But then there's a time and place for everything. But, you know, they're just very polite, and so I could understand why maybe they wouldn't want to walk into a full-blown sex shop with, you know, people banging horses and.
I was in a store over there one time. I was looking up on the shelf, you know, and there was like diapers, baby pacifiers, rattlers, and then exactly right next to the baby pacifiers and rattlers, there were dildos. It was like literally within this far.
They don't realize that one leads to the other.
Yeah. I guess
That's
they should have had them reversed.
Hopefully they don't give their baby a dildo.
yeah. We don't get that shit mixed up. So let's go from best on-stage experience. Where have you been? You've played. The energy is there, and you're just like, I want to play for 8 hours. Cause that
Man, we used to play for half that.
Rocklahoma.
Rocklahoma, yeah.
Keep
Tell
it
us
true
about
out there.
that.
Keep It True is great.
Yeah. Keep It True is really good.
Constant
Sword
Carcass.
Brothers was great.
Yeah.
You know, the festivals in Europe, I guess any festival, even in America, the festivals in America, festivals in Europe, they're always, you know, the energy's there. People are there to rock. They want to see these bands, you know. So those are always extra fun. But that said, I've had just as much fun, you know, on any given night at, say, a Jay Gilligan's
Oh, yeah.
or a Monte Carlo's, you know, these local shows. I mean, the basement back when we were first doing it. I mean, where the energy was through the roof, the places were packed, everybody was having a good time, and, you know.
Back when people just went to the club to go to the club to see bands, you know, instead of just, oh, well, there's a band, I'm going to go. They just went to the club, you know. That was good old days.
Yeah. Also, if you know, pre-social media, I think people used to really let their hair down. You know, because what happened in that club for the most part stayed in that venue. You know, I mean, you would often see, you know, girls disrobing, you know, flashing, tossing panties at you, guys getting fully naked. we used to get all manner of
What
nudity.
shows do you go to?
Yeah.
No, our shows, yeah. I remember that Brian Miller gets on stage one time, in the middle of the stage in downtown Arlington. Guy pulls down his pants. Some girl yanks his underwear down, and we're like, "Oh my God, get him off the stage!" But we had, any given night. People used to specifically come to our shows. I think less for the music and more because they knew that on any given show night there was going to be some girl disrobing, or topless, or bottomless on our stage, and that used to happen on the regular, every show, without fail. And then social media hit.
Marcus, you missed your call.
Boy, I tell you what, I could have drawn my draws in an Aska show.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Not too late.
You can tell that story if you want.
No.
But once social media hit and people had started taking pictures and posting them online for mom, dad, grandma, uncle, Charlie, cousin Danny, for everybody to
Employer.
see. Yeah, employers, that dried up like an old lady's titties. It was over with, No,
put that on a shirt.
I think we just changed the rating on the show from 1813.
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, no,
Somebody
That was
else.
fun.
it's the internet. We can say what we want.
There you go.
But they played all over the world, and yet they just played my living room. So that's pretty cool,
So-
actually.
My old band played a show. This is a very short story, but I'm hoping to lead into your Spinal Tap moment. We played a show in Tulsa one time, and the dude that set up all the sound, he gaffed every mic cable, everything going everywhere, all the way up the mic stand to my mic. It was all gaffed. So I literally just had this. So in the show, first song, I pull away, and that thing pulls up, and every mic on stage like dominoes. So give me your Spinal Tap moments. There's got to be something. Now we're professional.
Now
remember?
Brian walked upstairs to the record room, and he saw a poster on the wall of when he played for
Quarantine.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
And that was not a. I think my living room was nicer than that.
Yeah, probably.
Than the Alamo, the old Alamo back in the day. So that
yeah, it
was
was
kinda
like a living room there,
Oh,
and
man.
it was like all dark and.
one
places-
light bulb over the stage.
Yeah, it was pretty much falling apart.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a good show.
Yeah. I think it's more about the energy of the music, but
Absolutely.
getting back to Spinal Tap moments.
I was up on a drum riser about 3 feet high, and there was a lot of fog, and you really couldn't see, and it was dark. And I walked right off the drum riser, and the drum riser was on a stage that was this high off the ground. So I like literally, the drum riser was about 6 feet off, and I just walked right off, and I fell about 6 feet down right onto the ground, and I landed right on my feet too. I mean, I didn't fall. I was like, that'll never happen again.
The funny thing though is when he fell and he landed on his feet, he just went.
Yeah.
What,
dark, I was walking
what
up
moment?
the
What
porch.
did you have, Keith?
I
Know
don't
what
know.
you
I
call
just
scaring
remember
the shit out of somebody?
back in the day we used to allow people to walk on with us and they'd get up there, play guitar or bass or whatever. And somebody got up and played bass because I was on the audience. That's how I remember. And I'm filming, and this other guy just decides he's gonna get on the stage and jump around, and next thing you know, he jumps back into George's amp, and George's amp goes. And I'm just standing there filming. That was pretty cool.
I remember when we played at Jay Gilligan's and George Davey got on stage. It was a friend of ours, and he was all drunk and everything, and he fell into my drum set, and we were right in the middle of a song, and my whole drum set caved in.
Oh man.
You know.
So anybody famous playing? I know I saw
of
videos of Dimebag or
Dime,
Daryl.
yeah. Dimebag used to come on stage with us. I'd say in the last 2.5 years of his life, probably 80% of our local shows in DFW, he was there. And with him and his brother and Rita and his entire entourage. He never went anywhere alone. There was always the hanger-ons. And it was funny too because these guys would follow Dime everywhere, but they were wearing Black Label Society vests. It's like, shouldn't we be wearing a Pantera or Damage Plan? Well, they don't have any. Well, okay, we'll make some.
Yeah.
Because you're not following Zach. This is Dime. Different dude. But you know, he would come out to the shows on the regular, and of course, if Dimebag Darrell walks in, it'd be criminal to just let him sit out in the audience and drink beer. You're like, Dime, come on, come and do your thing with us, and he would oblige us and come up, and we would have some just momentous jams. Some of them were captured for posterity on video, and you can find them on YouTube today. Always out of control, always fun, always a great time. And Dime was always the perennial rock star.
Down to earth.
Yeah, and when he walked in a room, the electricity changed. The whole vibe in that room changed. I mean, he just had that about him. I remember he would get Keith through. Keith, what's up, man? Come on, man. They get you a black tooth. He'd get him the shots, and then just hand feed them. I mean, he wouldn't let Keith drink them. He'd hand feed him to Keith. Here, to your head back.
What's worse is when you're playing, he tries to do that.
I remember a cool story. Dime, when he walked into, we were playing with Quite Right one night, and Kevin Dubrow was still alive back then, and we were at Trees in Dallas, and Dime, Vinny, they all came out, you know, and they were of course up there during our set, yelling and cheering and screaming. We got off, you know, buying them shots and everything, you know, and we're talking and hanging out. They see, you know, Quite Right gets on stage, they're gonna play.
Yeah.
And they break into their set or whatever, and Dime walks right to the front row. And Kevin's like, you know, bang your head. And he's pointing at Dime, and Dime's like, oh, yeah, man, he's got a drink. And he pulls off the shirt he's wearing, and he's got an Aska. He's got an Aska shirt. He's going, Aska, motherfucker. And, you know, just fucking with him, you know, but it was great, dude. We were happier and shit. Yeah, Dime, you see what Dime did? You know, he's got his Aska shirt for Kevin, you know. But it was a cool night all around. And at the end of the night, I think they had to call a cab for Dime.
Many.
I'm sure that they did.
Somebody was.
Well, he tried getting. They're pretty plowed, and he tried climbing into his own car, and he's like, "No, brother, you go home with me."
Yeah.
It's funny because they usually limoed everywhere.
Right.
They had one of the Thal
Well, he had
brothers
his.
driving.
Vinny had his new car, little sports car thing.
Oh, that stealth.
Yeah.
So may Dime rest in peace, man. It was a tragedy what happened to him. You know, a true shame. And now, you know, at least the brothers are together and they're certainly immortalized. You know, probably the biggest thing out of Texas metal.
For sure.
So, you know, shame they're gone.
That's the same night he came up to me. I think you were staying with me too, and he started singing one of my songs. The lyrics.
Oh yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was odd.
Yeah, Dime, note for note, I mean, word for word, singing a song off Liquid Courage off of our 9-tongue CD to Keith, you know, who sang it. So he knew, not only did he know the words, but he knew who sang that song too. And, oh, by the way, one more thing, on our new record, the last several records, I've been the sole vocalist, but anybody that remembers on the first 3 Ask albums, we used to split vocals. Keith would sing, I would sing, and Darren would sing. Well, on this new album, I insisted, and Keith certainly didn't mind it, that we get Keith to sing a song on the new record. So we've got a Keith vocal coming up on the new record. What's the name of the song?
From Out of the Skies.
From Out of the Skies.
Nice.
So
All right.
if you go, that doesn't sound like. Who is this awesome new singer on here? It's Keith. But anyway, so somebody was going to say something.
You were
Oh, I
gonna
was
say
just gonna
something.
say, I remember we used to go to. We had a friend Outlaw. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, yeah.
Bill. We used to go to his parties in his garage, and Dime would
Confederate
show up.
Workshop.
He would always want to play drums, and all Outlaw had was this little tiny. It was almost like a Hello Kitty drum set. It was like and Dime would be over there playing it, and he'd want to play drums all the time. You know, it was great.
It wasn't that the Confederate Outlaws Confederate Workshop where
Yeah.
I had my unofficial audition for Damage Plan after Pantera was over and they were trying to start their deal. I got in there and we're singing and everything, and he's they were checking me out to see if for their new deal, but he was like, man, you got too much of that 80s voice, man. You got too much. You're the king of the 80s, man. You got the 80s voice. We're looking for one of those rah 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 rah. So they went with Pat Lackman from Halford's band, but tragic what happened.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, if we have any parting shots, we will get to those. But I want to say, it's awesome that you guys would take the time to come out here to Casa de Carcass. All the shit that's going on. It was great to see you guys at the show. We've seen you with Hellstar a couple of times. But thank you so much for doing this. We'll get the video up as soon as we can. So, yeah, plug away, parting shots, and we'll
Love
wrap
doing
up.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, especially when it's, it's for Carcass, it's for you. One thing I like to say about you that I think is worth noting, behind the mic, Rob, come back in front of the camera for a second. It's Rob Colwell.
I'm sexy.
He's too sexy for this video. But check this out. Rob, I also sing for a band called Banshee and Cloven Hoof. But Banshee did an album called Mind Slave in 2012, which was picked up 2 or 3 times by other record labels after the initial licensing period was over with the initial run. And I think No Life to Metal put it out, and Rob, come to find out, I didn't know, but he's the one that mastered the No Life to Metal version of Banshee Mind Slave. So
I did.
it kind of comes full circle. Incidentally, too, also Keith at his studio, we started the vocals for that album. I did, I think 3 or 4 tracks for that record.
At least half.
Yeah, about half the record there. The other half in Nomad, where King Diamond records. And of course, so I've got, 2 of the guys from the, the production side of the Banshee Mind Slave in the house tonight. Well, who would have thought? Is it coincidence or stranger than true?
I was glad to get the call.
It's fate.
It's fate.
Yeah, that was
Is it,
awesome.
is it,
I'm-
yeah,
I'm
I was
always
asking,
glad
is
to
it
get those
merciful or
calls.
not?
Very cool.
Yeah.
But also, with Carcass, man, we go back a ways since we met. The guy was always cool, always legit. His artwork has been used on several notable bands throughout the Metroplex over the years. He's on the map. People know who he is. You mentioned his artwork. He's a well-known entity in the music business. Also had a record label. I don't know why you didn't. You should have hit us up and said,
Hey,
Jack
hey,
Frost.
it's still available.
Still okay. Well, we
If
might-
pure steel can't hang,
we
metal
might,
rising, baby.
I see the kind of money you're talking with Jack,
Jack
Frost.
Sorry, Jack, I singly killed your band, single-handedly.
So we might
Carcass has got 28 grand in his wallet.
Let's do that European tour that we talked about.
But
Press tour.
so anyway, so my parting shot is just we're happy to do it. If it's anybody else, we'd be like, oh, do you want to do this? But it's you. You're legit. You're the real deal. You guys are solid. You've been our brothers and friends, and metal family. How could we not? Who would we? What kind of friends would we be? I mean, to turn down an invitation to be on the metal round table.
There you go, and we actually have a round table this time.
It's important, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Normally it's a square.
Yeah, or we're standing with our arms folded.
No, we insisted on a round table tonight.
All right, now you know how we close this out. We're gonna go. We'll rehearse it real quick. It's until next time. Metal will prevail. We're good.
prevail.
Everybody there? All right. For episode 76, I am Metal Rob, Carcass John, the Aska guys. I'm sure you can't see me. Until next time,
Metal will
prevail.